It makes a difference whether your focus is on the future of the church or the church of the future. The future of the church deals with incremental change and incremental transformation. It embraces the idea that we're into all kinds of cultural shifts and changes and different needs that people have in church and society. And it gives us an opportunity to create a new future, moving with God in an unknown tomorrow. NGLI, the Next Generation Leadership Initiative, is a product of much thinking and dreaming among a number of us who've had a burning concern about the church of the future. What would it be like to bring together a cadre of young clergy and involve them into opportunities over a significant period of time of being exposed to leadership traits and qualities that could make a difference for us in the UCC?
The dream, the wish, the hope for Next Generation Leadership Initiative started in a wondering kind of conversation about 15 or 20 years ago. A group of church leaders were together and they were kind of looking at some stark trends in the life of the church. And they began to ask themselves, what can we do to really significantly change the system so that we become a stronger church in service to God? And a wise person among them said, take 5% of your young leaders, invest in them, and let them become leaven for the whole church. And give them the tools, the skills, the confidence that they need to be strong pastors. Your whole church will grow and will change and become stronger and healthier.
Pastoral work is hard. It always has been hard, but I think it's particularly hard now. It's hard for young pastors particularly to find other supportive colleagues, particularly of their generation, who can share together in the kinds of ministry they're doing, the challenges they face, the struggles, the joys.
So here's the truth about ministry. It hurts. It's rough out there. Your life is lived in the public eye. You're on call 24/7. There's never a break. This is not an easy job, and yet we do it every single day. I can't imagine doing anything different.
Next Generation Leadership Initiative is a 10-year program. The first year we focus on family systems and teaching them about what does it mean to be a self-differentiated leader. The second year is around adaptive leadership and the art of leadership in these changing times. The third year is based on communication styles, team building, understanding yourself and others in a group dynamic. The fourth year is all about leading congregations to faithful and fruitful ministry, with an emphasis on trends and practical strategies that bring about more effective outreach with greater spiritual and numerical growth. Years 5 through 10 are more self-directed opportunities where we give them funds in order to seek out continuing education or coaching, which will help them achieve the objectives that they have named. Ultimately, this all is about creating transformational leaders for the church.
We've talked about, family systems and adaptive leadership and other kinds of concepts that we're able to take from the classroom or from our seminar time together and then apply them to our congregational settings.
I came into a situation where some of historical conflicts were continuing to cause some anxiety within the congregation. And the first year in family systems really gave me the tools to differentiate myself and to help find the strongest leaders that had the ability to differentiate themselves from the conflict. And within 1 year, we really went from a church in conflict to a church with healthy, strong leadership.
As a solo pastor, sometimes I feel that I'm driving a bus and I am in the front seat and But I also, as I do ministry, there are also voices that I hear from the back seat. And I hear my seminary professors, and I hear the coursework that we've learned, and I carry those lessons with me. But being a part of NGLI, I also carry the lessons of all the curriculum that we've covered, and that's informed my ministry and shaped who I am as a pastor and as a pastoral leader.
Tonight is about doing a new thing, church, which usually means that an old thing must cede some of its space and authority to allow room for the new thing to do what the new thing do.
What are the changes that faithfulness requires of us as we look to God's future?
I think we have to have a greater vision as far as what kind of community, what kind of church we want to be.
But we are really learning to lead through whatever the future might hold, and to be nimble and adaptive and ready for whatever may come, open to the calling of the Spirit.
We certainly are hearing a lot of stories from the individuals in terms of how this ministry has energized them and sustained them for ministry. And we're also hearing stories from local congregations in terms of what it means to have a pastor in this program. We know that we are hitting the mark.
We're beginning to get a lot of feedback about the impact that these young clergy leaders are having in the life of their congregations, in their associations, and their conferences. And I might add, the whole broader life of the United Church of Christ family.
I think it's going to be a wonderful infusion of, it's like splattering yeast throughout the church.
I'm better able to see how we're creating a context, how we're creating communities and churches that are able to have space to listen to God's call, to be attentive to the purpose of the church and who we are, creating space for God to speak and God to move.
It's about being the body of Christ, knowing that the body of Christ is always living, it's always working, it's always moving, and it's not static, and it's not about taking care of controversies or putting out fires. It's about growing, it's about resurrection.
This is a magnificent gift, not just to myself, not just to the other 66 colleagues that are in the program with me, but I believe to the Church Universal as we look with courage and confidence to the future of the United Church of Christ.
Peace be with you, oh my friend. Every good grace with you I send. Carry God's Spirit as you go. The seeds of peace are yours to sow. We're gonna sing that again. Peace be with you, oh my friend. Every good grace with you I send. Peace be with you, oh my friend. Every good grace with you I send.